This is One on One. I want to introduce you to our very special guest, a very special show. He is Curtis Sherrod, Executive Director, Hip Hop Culture Center. Good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, I'm very good. Glad to be here.
And we were just talking before we start the show. Where'd you grow up?
I'm a Bronx boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where you grew up has had something to do with how you see the world and how you do what you do.
Everything.
Describe the organization, by the way, Hip Hop Culture Center.
What we do, we use hip hop to bring young people in. And once we get them there, we tease them with the hip hop. You know, we teach them economic literacy, political awareness, diet and nutrition, or you can give us any subject matter and we will regurgitate that subject matter in a hip hop centric way to reinforce whatever's being taught in the classroom.
What do most of us who were not born into the hip hop culture get wrong about it?
I think, well, we were speaking before the show and you have an Italian background. I think it's similar to that. People confuse rap culture with hip hop culture because of what mass media, television shows.
Is there a difference between
Oh.
rap and hip hop culture?
Two different animals.
Describe.
Okay, hip hop's a culture. Okay, the first culture or the first element of hip hop is graffiti. The second element of hip hop is DJing. The third element of hip hop is breakdancing. The fourth element is MCing. We never called it rapping, we called it MCing, mic control, master of the ceremony. The fifth is knowledge of self. And when you combine all these elements, you have hip hop as opposed to rap, which is a commercial way to exploit and make money from hip hop.
The hip hop culture started in the Bronx about 30 years ago.
Yeah, Kool Herc. Kool Herc is him and his sister Cindy Campbell.
Is it acknowledged? Because when you talk about, listen, there's a lot of debates about different forms of music and who was the one, who was the king, who was the queen. You know, even though those of us who love Aretha Franklin will debate it with anyone. But that being said, is this an indisputable truth?
Put it like this, if I got to sign on the dotted line, I'm going with Kool Herc, okay? And I would like to see people and their data to say someone else. Of course, it's an extension of Afrocentricity.
Who is this that we're talking about?
As far as Kool Herc?
Yes.
Kool Herc was a gentleman who was really into hip hop. Well, actually, his background is he's from Jamaica.
Right.
He's Jamaican. And they have like this sound boy thing where they have great sound systems in Jamaica. And then when he came to New York, you know, I'm sure Herc could tell his story better than me, but when he came to New York, there's a culture of toasting here in New York City. And then you have what a griot is, whereas...
What?
Okay.
It's like you're talking a foreign language. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Now you understand why.
No, I don't understand.
Well, for clarity's sake.
Well, you come on our show at Lincoln Center to make me feel so out of it? Is that what it is? And your sigh makes me feel worse. And that is the point of your work.
Exactly. That's why we have the Hip Hop Culture Center. We travel to go to different individuals, different organizations, and particularly young people. You got young people who are from the Bronx, where hip hop was invented, and they don't know what hip hop is. You know, they think it's bling bling, you know, calling someone out their name, driving a fancy car, where no. The people who invented hip hop, we were broke. You see what I'm saying? They stopped giving us music classes in the Bronx at one time.
By the way, we're looking at your
that's
offices?
the venue, yeah.
In Harlem?
Yeah, that's the venue we actually had right inside on 125th Street.
Right by the Apollo?
Across the street from the Apollo, second floor of the Magic Johnson Theater.
The anti-violence walk?
We had an anti-gun walk, which led us to really want to do a rapathon, and I'll tell you what a rapathon is very shortly.
Can we go to the footage and then Curtis can talk about it? Let's go to the clip.
Stop the violence. Stop the killing. 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 Now stop. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Throw the peace sign up. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Throw the peace sign up.
Talk to us.
Now, the anti-gun walk, we have some of the best MCs in the world, and they have the ability to take a social issue that impacts our community, and then through rap music, make it relevant by using it in the way it should be used.
You know, it's interesting. You have a strong desire, strong interest to educate.
Yeah.
To what end?
Education is the key. You know, the more you know, the more you can support yourself, your community, your family, your people in an intelligent way.
Where do the dollars come from for the center?
We struggle. We struggle, but we always find a way to make it happen.
But is it about donations from the community? Is it about corporate foundation grants?
A combination of all. A combination of all. And it's funny because you would think, oh, hip hop, you guys get a lot of support from like the major rappers and things
You would
like
think.
that. Negatory.
Because?
I don't think a lot of rappers who've made lots of money from hip hop know what hip hop is.
That doesn't make sense.
I know, but it's true. It's true.
So those who are most recognized as hip hop artists, right? Name a few.
Let me see, the most recognizable to me?
Well, no, not to you. Let's say
okay.
mainstream.
Mainstream, a Lil Wayne, a Drake, Puffy, Jay-Z.
What responsibility do you believe? Now you talk about Jay-Z. Now, many people would say, look at what Jay-Z has done in Brooklyn. Look
Right.
at and that what has happened out in Brooklyn, the Renaissance out there, and the Barclays Center is just a piece of it. But that many would say that some of the success out there is a product of Jay-Z and his interest in that community. What do you think the responsibility is of those who have been most successful, and some say fortunate in that process, to the movement? And is it a movement?
Well, it's a lifestyle, it's a culture, and it's almost like, take basketball, all right? In basketball, a lot of people play ball, right?
Right.
If you go to any borough in New York City, you could probably find 100 people who could have been in the NBA.
Well, you look at the Harlem Rucker tournament, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
well, you know what
so
I'm talking about, right?
you take someone like Jay-Z, he's an example. Yeah,
Right.
out of 1,000 rappers who are as good as Jay-Z or more talented,
Right.
he's one of the ones that made it.
Do they owe?
Do they owe? Well, I think that I don't know him personally, and I think every man has to do what's right for him, you know, so that he can sleep at night. So I can't say you owe. It will be nice to say yes, because as a people, we got here standing on the shoulders of others that came before us. I was just doing some research from Frederick Douglass the other day, and I was like, what an amazing cat to have done all the things that he's done. I can go on forever and ever with people who sacrificed, didn't get monetary gain for us as a people today to be where we're at. And so it's really a personal decision. What do I think?
I hear you. And finally, for adults, be they black, white, Hispanic, or others, who want to connect with their kids who are connected to some way of hip-hop culture, advice to us is?
Well, I would say check out the Rapathon. And the Rapathon is where we get 100 rappers to rap for 100 hours straight. No cursing, no N-word, no B-word, and it's always for something positive.
It's good stuff. By the way, how can people, we have the website up, guys? Have we been doing that? Terrific. Curtis Sherrod, Executive Director, Hip Hop Culture Center. I want to thank you for joining us.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
For sharing and making me feel incredibly out of it. That was your intent? Nice. Good job.
Well, it's not,
you seem to enjoy it.
But you know what? We could do fellowship later, and I'll hook you up.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this.
Good show.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System. Funding has been provided by Barnabas Health, TD Bank, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, PSE&G, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, Roche, the law firm of Gibbons PC, and by the New Jersey Education Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been made possible in part by New Jersey State Nurses Association.